computer. And let me go like this. And here we go. All right. So welcome to the Best Mindset group. If I can get you all to put yourself on mute, I'm getting somebody's feedback. Hopefully it's not my own. But if I can get you all to go onto mute, that would be great. So everybody can hear everything really well. So remember, what you focus on is shows up most in your life. And one of the biggest things that I want you, as we go through today, is to really think about your experience with business mastery and making sure that you have your business plan, because this is the platform for everything, right? So, and one of the biggest things is that you must be open to giving and receiving, because the number one thing is being open. We need to be in that state so that I can help you get over any fears of the unknown that show up every meeting, because there's a universal challenge line or something that you're faced with. And I want you to feel as comfortable as possible, but also being open to the suggestions and ideas from people who are along the side of you wanting you to succeed. Also, stories, thinking about stop doing the same thing and expecting different results. And we need to let go of some of those stories in order to develop to our full potential. So that's the other thing that I keep in mind. And of course, the strategies. We set time to goal and self-reflect, and really taking away some key learning pieces, because throughout the Best Mindset groups, you're going to be getting education in the areas of sales, marketing, exposure, profit, and mindset. And if you implement what you learn and you commit to the framework, it is easy for people to get to 10K per month. And I've watched people grow through the system, and it is amazing. So this is really exciting to have you on board, to share this journey with you and help you succeed to become your best self. But not only that, to create this business that you know and love. All right. So in your Best Mindset tab in your binder, we're going to go through a few things here. And one of the things that I want you to make sure you have is that you have your journal. This is something that's mandatory to bring to every session. Ensure that you're bringing your journal. It is a mandatory piece. There will be journals available at the back of the room, and for you to get more when you fill your journal up. And also the other thing is that your Entrepreneur's Success Expedition Handbook. We're going to be talking about a few things in here today as well. So if you haven't already gone through some of these things, this is something that I really do want you to go through this, and putting your information, your business mastery when you did your entrepreneur test. If you remember the number, to make sure that that score is inside your book. You're going to be taking it again at 3 months, and actually a little bit sooner, because we are moving into period 4, in which I'll explain to you when we get to the sheets. But if this is your handbook, this is where everything is for you. If you have some questions, to go here. You also have access to me, and I will be giving you my email and phone numbers. So should you want to email me at any time, and you know what, we can do that right now. I'll actually type it in the chat box so that you
Debra,
have it. Yeah.
Sorry. On the page you were just on in that booklet, it asks for your revenue and profit for the past 12 months. Is the profit supposed to be gross or net?
So right now, as you come into the program, our focus is on profit revenue. Just revenue. As you hit 15K and moving up, that's when we're really going to start focusing more on the profits.
Okay.
Okay, just to keep it simple initially is what we're doing.
Okay.
So in the chat box, you'll see my email that goes directly to me through MYM. And then this is my cell also there for you guys to have. Okay? So you'll have that in the chat box. All right, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so our structure today is about really talking about getting committed to what it is that you say that you want, really focusing in on being in that commitment versus interested. And that's a lot of the focus when we're talking about best mindset and really focusing in on what it is that you truly want. We're also going to set expectations. So you understand the format and the flow of the day when you come into best mindset, so that we set you up for success right from the beginning. Okay. We talk about success and gratitude. That's why I need you to have your journals. And the one-page plan for the next 12 months, because this is foundational for you understanding the numbers portion of the best mindset sessions. And once you get a hold of these numbers and you know to love your numbers, watch out. Things are going to get really exciting, because as you love your numbers, you track your numbers, you're going to see growth. You're going to see where the gaps are, where you can fill them. You're going to get excited about your business in a way that you may not have before, especially if you weren't a numbers tracker to begin with. And then a 90-day plan with some self-reflection and goal set for the next 2 weeks to set you up for success. Okay? So above all, we're going to have some fun, because in order to learn and absorb new information, it is most importantly got to be enjoyable. So you got to love it. You got to enjoy it. So when you're learning and having fun, you're more apt to hang on to the strategies that you learn. So our goal for you with Make Your Mark is to create amazing success habits. These are these habits of mastery that get you to your destination, to ensure that you're living the lifestyle that you want by making the money that you want and taking the time off that you want. So I'm going to get you to unmute for just a moment, because I want to hear you and engage you. How many of you have a vision of the lifestyle that you want? Give me a yeah or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
How many of you here would like to make more money?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I got to hear that, right? And how many of you would like to have more time off?
Yes.
Yeah, you guys got to sound more convincing when I see you in person, I'm telling you. Because I want those things for you. So that's my commitment to you, is to help you get there by helping you develop those success habits that are going to get you to your destination. And as you can see here for Colin, he is very much, his lifestyle is with wine, his beautiful car, and of course, spending time with family and friends. All right. So to stay focused during this time, I want you just to please be respectful, avoid all distractions. If you can have your cell phones off, avoid texting and side talking with family members if you can. Just because I need you to focus this time on your business, because this is for you to be on it versus in it. So really devoting this time. So we need that focus and that time that we're focused together. So I'll get you to go back onto mute. Anybody who's on, just pop yourself onto mute so we can just go ahead and hear everybody. Okay. So all the details are in your Entrepreneur Success Expedition Handbook. For further questions, you can always refer to our base camp support, client care, at mymsuccess.com. On everything, the journals, the Success Expedition Handbook, you'll see the number to the office at the very bottom or on the back of the book. So you always have that accessible to you. Okay. And, you know, we have different pages that I want you to look at. So the Sherpa packages, there's about logging in to your courses, which you should have already done if you've been into the Business Plan 101. Your first meeting date is May 29th. We are located at the 4 Point Sheraton at Bow Ridge. It's right across the street from the COP, the Wind Sport Center. So it's the 4 Point Sheraton right there on Bow Ridge, right across the street from the COP. And for anybody who is in the AM group, doors open at 7:30, and I believe that's for you, Blaine. Doors open at 7:30. The session starts at 7:45. And we will have a break at 8:30. We get a 15-minute break, and then we go strong from 8:45 to 10:45. The morning session ends. At 11:30 for the mid group, doors open at 11:30. and we start at 11:45. We go hard until 12:30. You get a 15-minute break, and then we'll go from 12:45 to 2:45. Then the evening session, I have one person in the evening session. Your evening session, doors open at 5, and at 5:15, we are ready to go. And then we'll go hard again until 6:30. We get a 15-minute break, and then we go from, just hang on a second. We get a break at 6 till 6:15, and we go from 6:15 to 8:15, and we're done at 8:15. So here's the thing that I want you to know. If you are late by 5 minutes at the start of the time, and we are already engaged in masterminding and conversation, we will not let you in. And that's just out of respect for everyone who's shown up on time and already dedicated to starting the process, because it can be very interrupting. But here's the thing. If you show up late to the beginning of the first part of the session, there often is other people who are going to be late. And once you've been in the mastermind a couple times, what we expect is that you're going to use that time outside the doors wisely until the break happens. So you have an opportunity to continue to mastermind outside the door, even though you're not in the room. And again, it's only out of respect for everybody who's been there on time, who is already engaged on conversation, and not to have any disruption. Same thing happens for the second portion after the break. If you are later than 5 minutes, we are not going to let you in, because we start on time, we get engaged, and we're moving forward. You know, there are times when weather is a factor, and that's a consideration, but often we're starting on time. So I want to impress upon you, no later than 5 minutes, because once we get started, we're really engaged and moving forward. So I went over those times for you, and I gave you my email. And what I also want you to do is, when you look at this book, no matter if you're just starting out or you have, and I'm going to go through the K clubs with you, but thinking about where you want to be at different times in your business. And as I go through the presentation today, it's going to be just like being at a best mindset session, very similar. So as you follow along with me, don't hesitate to type me some questions or take yourself off mute. Just give me, a wave or something, and I will watch for you as well. All right. So our culture at MYM is really focused on the principles base that you learned in business mastery. So committed versus interested, results versus excuses, rewards versus penalties. Remember saying all those words in blue? And how did they make you feel? Probably not really great. It didn't make you feel motivated. But when you start saying committed, results, rewards, that's when you start getting excited about everything around you. And of course, growth equals discomfort. So how many of you have realized that since you've signed up for Business Mastery and you started paying attention to the words you use, the language around you, that you've noticed that there's a lot of people who are just interested? Want to give me a wave if you agree? Yeah, a lot of interested. And if you want to just type in the chat box, what are some of the excuses you hear people saying? What are some of those excuses? Blaine?
It's not a good time is a very typical one.
Yeah, not a good time. Thank you. Marjorie, you have a hand up? No? I'm tired. I don't have time. Goes with the dog ate my homework, right? Marjorie. More of your own excuses. Kim, come off mute and tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, sure. One of the biggest things I found since right after business or the initial 3-day seminar was that I was looking for ways to get out of things that I had to do, and I had to cancel a lot and get past my own excuses. So yeah, too tired, not enough time. I was really, really exceptionally booked. I'm not going to say busy. I was exceptionally booked, but yeah, I had a lot of challenges coming up there with my excuses. So
yeah, it gets really interesting when you start catching yourself in your own excuses, because once you're self-aware, there's no turning back. That's my theory.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've been really paying attention and observing that more than anything else. Where am I failing myself, right?
Yeah. So that's what you're going to learn a lot of as we go through the sessions, is that you're going to become so much more, I'd like to say, hyper observant. So you're going to be self-aware, self-observant, and then you're going to realize the changes that you have to make to move forward.
Yes, agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Kim. Oops. So one thing that we emphasize as well is that there is no wrong. There's no bad. There's no failure. There's no lose. It is all about learning experiences. And as soon as you start to realize that everything around you is learning, and you give yourself that grace as well as the grace to other people, you'll find that people will be more forgiving to you and you to them as well. So when you see something that didn't go as it was, you take a step back and you're like, you know what? What I got to learn from this? This happened for me for a reason. It happened for me, right? Not to me. And to really go back to those times when things didn't go right, to find out how it took you to where you are, and evaluating and self-reflecting on some of those choices. And what did you learn from them? Because as soon as you start learning from those experiences, you find that life doesn't keep throwing the same experience at you till you figure it out. So it's really important to do that self-reflection. The other thing in our class is that we have words that are banned from our vocabulary. And we hold each other accountable in making sure that we're not saying these words. And of course, you've heard the big one, try. Because you can't try to hold something. You can't try to do something. You're actually doing it. So my theory is that you can drop the word try out of any sentence and the sentence still makes sense. I'm trying to shoot a basket. Well, you're not trying, you're shooting it with the hopes of it going in, right? So the word try is a word that we have banned. The word when. When is that someday, way out there, it's not even on the calendar, wondering where it's going. So that when, the right time always is now. And to really focus, not when this will align or when this will happen, I can have this, or when I have the money to do this. Or if we're always projecting into the someday, we forget about what we can do today. The other one is worrying. How many of you have worried about things that don't ever happen? Just raise your hand, just give me a wave. Because what happens is our imagination can run wild, right? We have all these ideas of what could be going on, and it can take us on wild goose chases. And then you can find out that you're completely off base, and holy man, you just spent a lot of energy that could have been spent somewhere else. The other one is the word can't. Can't often is that termination, right? It cuts out any possibility as soon as you hit the word can't. And what we want to do is drop that T off and focus on the possibilities of what you can do versus what you can't. So always remembering this is the life-changing, our life code formula that is really, really important. ITFAR. So I is your influences. These are the things that influence your thoughts, and then your thoughts, the way you think about things, influences how you feel, and how you feel will determine how you act, what actions you're going to take. So if you're feeling, if you're thinking positive thoughts and you're pretty optimistic and things are going well, or you're ready to roll with anything that comes your way, chances are you're feeling pretty good. And when you feel pretty good, what happens to your actions? Who wants to take themselves off mute?
Wanda, you make positive decisions.
Right.
You actually
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Wanda. And when actually, don't keep yourself unmuted for a second. So when you take positive actions, what's going to happen to those results?
They're just going to grow.
Right. Absolutely. So when you have positive thoughts, you're feeling pretty good, you're going to take actions, and then you're going to start getting results. And, you know, and even if they're not exactly what you're hoping for, you're starting to get some results, right? And then you can go back and tweak anything that you need to in those actions to continue to get results and grow. Yeah. Thank you, Wanda. Yeah. So on the opposite end, if you're having let's say you got off the wrong side of the bed day and you're thinking like, you know, miserable and you're having a crappy day, you're not feeling really great. How likely are you to take action? Who wants to pop off? Take yourself off mute.
No, I'd say you probably aren't going to take action. It's that 5-second rule. 5 seconds is vicious. Yeah,
and it is a vicious circle. Because what happens is, if you're not feeling great, you're going to sabotage your own success. Because you're going to think, why bother? What's my efforts going to do for me? Without realizing, to get to those results, you need to take that action. So you need to be able to change that state so that you can be open to the strategies. But the biggest one, the most critical part, is paying attention to that I. What are the things that are influencing your life? So I really want you to think about the people, your environment. People can be family, can be friends, can be those toxic people, but there are also influences. There's also good influences, such as podcasts, books, really setting your mindset up for success so that you are thinking positive thoughts, focused on possibility, versus shutting down what's possible for you, so that you can know how to get yourself into the state when you need to have those thoughts and feelings aligned with your vision to get you to take actions to get you the results. So influences, always being aware of who and what are influencing your life and your results. So for Colin and Gabby, you'll see Jack Canfield. He's one of their influencers. And then we have Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank. And then we also have Tommy Baylor, who's also a friend of Colin's. Really great people. The only one I haven't met yet is Kevin Harrington. So here's the critical thing. We want you to show up for every meeting, no matter how you feel and what results you have achieved. This is really, really critical, because what we find is, as you've been attending Best Mindset, this is the place where you can shift quickly because other people around you are there. We're dedicated to each other like a family to ensure that everybody's getting results and growing together. So even if you haven't done the work or you just don't feel like being there, come and get into an environment so you're surrounded by like-minded people who want to lift you up, so that you don't stay in that space for a long time. Okay, we all face challenges, and know that you're not alone, because often what happens is people think that they're alone on their journey, and you'll find that a lot of the things that you're going through about staying motivated or coming up with strategies, people are all going through the same things, and there's other people in the room who are going to share the solutions. So your mind and some of your influence will attempt to knock you off the mountain, but I want you to stay on the course of the pinnacle of your success. Okay, so you should have gotten some papers, and if you haven't yet, they may be coming in the mail, but I want to make sure that you've got them. There's the commitment agreement. So we commit to you. So when you come in on the 29th, I will sign this sheet, but I commit to you to provide you focused, there's a private facility to work on your business, to hold you accountable for taking action on income-generating activities that will increase your profits, to provide education that you can implement immediately to grow your business, and to hold your feet to the fire to take action on your biggest challenges and opportunities. I can be tough at times, but it's only because I want you to succeed. And it will be, and when I say tough, it'll be that I will ask you questions that are going to challenge some of those excuses that you might have. Or if you maybe focus on a penalty versus the reward, I'm just going to help you shift your thinking. And for you, and committing to the group, to read through each of these, that you will agree to build relationships with all the members, that you'll commit to the terms and working with the group. You agree to plan and schedule your activities. Treat this as a big commitment to yourself, that this is the time that you work on your business, not in it. Because all too often what happens is business owners, they get so distracted by the text, the email, other people's emails, which I call OPA, which is other people's agendas. Because they're already asking, when you're checking emails, often people are asking you for something. Use this time for you so that you can strategize and you can make a plan every 2 weeks to really move forward. And that you agree to show up on time for each and every meeting with respect to other members as well. And that you give more than you receive. And then I'll get you to sign and date the bottom. As the facilitator, I will sign and show you that I'm committed to you, and then you will sign this part now. Okay? Setting your achievement goals. So 2K, 5K, 10K, 15K, 20K clubs, by what date? So what I want you to do, if you've been in business for a while and you're just coming into the MYM, what I'd like you to do is to go back your last 90 days in 2-week increments. And just what I do is we have a sheet at the class, which I will go through or we can show you, and the event assistant can help with that, is that I take an average of the 3 months. And with that, I'm able to tell you because we have what we have called is appropriate tables. So we want you to mastermind with people who are going through similar challenges. So we have a less than 2K table, but we have a 2K table, 5K table, 10, 15, and 20. And even if you're not there yet, I want you to plan ahead. So you have a target to shoot toward to get you to your next level. So, and this will make a lot more sense when I show you the forms. But if you look at your last 90 days of revenue and bring that in, I will be happy to go through the sheets with you to show you where you're at so that we get you at a baseline of where you're building from. But I also want you to set a target to what the next level will be for you and by what date do you want to achieve it?
With that, you want, like, for example, I did a bunch of work here in the last couple of weeks under subcontract work, but I'm not going to be paid for 90 days. Do you want to see that kind of stuff?
No, only when it's in your pocket.
Okay.
Okay. And then if you're doing best only and you want to upgrade to the full 7-step Sherpa system, by what date do you want to do that? So set that commitment for yourself as well. And Capit is by invitation to join. And by what date do you want to do that? So to get into Capit, you must be making 20K per month and demonstrating a profit. And choose a target of when you want to be in that group as well, and we'll chat about that. Usually we'd like you to be in best mindset for a little bit so that you can understand how the program works before we shift you. But through conversation and seeing where you're at, we can see how that is. But I want you to fill in those milestones today so you can set your intention for the future, because what you focus on expands, and that's when you have a target, you're going to shoot toward it. So you took step 1, which was business mastery. Step 2 is setting your goal. Step 3 is defining your plan. Step 4 is growing in your knowledge. Step 5 is holding you on course, and that's through the best mindset, of course. Step 6 is through acknowledgement and recognition, helping you move through the 2K clubs. But not only that, is we celebrate the small successes to the big ones. Because we know that when you're celebrating small successes, you have an opportunity to create that momentum and get excited and take more actions, because you're going to be thinking and feeling great about the results that you're getting. So we want to make sure that you have some recognition and acknowledgement along the way. And step 7 is always breaking through the next level, Because what you're going to learn, what got you to one level is not necessarily always going to get you to the next. But by putting in those success habits and mastering some of the habits that create that success for you, you're going to be well on your way. So some of you are in best mindset, which is steps 1, 2, 3, and 5 only. Step 7 system is our goal to have you upgrade to the Sherpa Elite within 3 to 6 months. And when you implement the system, you shouldn't have no problem with being able to upgrade to that so that you can grow in the knowledge piece, because the courses are phenomenal. You know, as some of you have seen, I've received my trophy after doing the full 2 years, and I tell you, I've learned so much about what I didn't know that I needed to know. It's pretty phenomenal. So I'm excited for you to share that same journey. So setting your goal and defining your plan. So that one-page business plan is the foundation for tonight, to really help you define your plan and get you set up for success. So I hope everybody's had a chance to do it. If you could just put in the chat box, if you haven't already, to let me know that you have completed this. If not, you need to get on it before you come to class, because you really need to understand this is where your numbers and everything comes from, okay? And I have, this is one of my old ones, but to make sure that you have it, or just hold it up here in your screen so I can see that you have it as well. That would be awesome. Super awesome. Great to see them. Thank you. And I'm just going to look at the chat. Way to go. Okay, Blaine, you got to get on that, okay? Because I want you to understand. Otherwise, you got to take really detailed notes tonight. So
I've got a 2-year business plan that I've already built up. I'm going to be transferring the information from the main business plan into the page. I got a 50-page business plan already, so
okay.
But I will get into the one page right away here.
Perfect. But the biggest thing I need you to know is the revenue target that you want after 12 months, because this is really crucial to knowing how to set up the numbers for the rest tonight.
Yeah, I've got those numbers.
Excellent, excellent. So even though you might have had business plans that you take to the bank, this one-page business plan is actually just it's a working document. It's a living document that is adjusted and grows with you as you grow, but it gives you target areas and sets goals for the next 12 months. So this, again, we break it down into quarters, and then into 2 weekly, and then into daily activities. This must be done to move forward, and you are given access to the online. So make sure you get on the online and watch it. And I already asked you that. So remember, there's only results or excuses, your choice. You can't have both. All right. Great, thank you. Finished vision, mission, core values, okay. Finalizing completion dates. Put in the completion dates. Get on it before you come see me on the 29th, okay? You need to get this done, because that way you're going to be up to speed. All right. So congratulations for completing steps 2 and 3, and now we're going to focus on steps 4 and 5. That's growing your knowledge by attending the live Sherpa courses, and holding you on course is the best mindset. These steps happen simultaneously throughout the membership of Business Sherpa. So, to pull out your success, gratitude, and big dreams and happiness, we use MYM journals only so that everybody is consistent in doing their daily reviews. So, making sure that you have your successes, what you're grateful for, the actions you took toward your big dreams, the actions toward your happiness, and don't forget about the happiness scale at the bottom. Who wants to come off mute or chat in the chat box of sharing with me some of your success, your gratitude, big dreams, or happiness that you've experienced since Business Mastery? I would love to hear it. I'm sure the rest of the group would as well.
I love that journal. It's been amazing. I actually came home from Business Mastery and 2 days later separated from my husband. So I've been going through a universal challenge line and it's helped me see the opportunities and find things to be grateful for. And yeah, I love it.
Wow, you really took some big steps.
Yeah, one could say, I suppose.
Well, it sounds like it must have been something that you've been thinking about for a bit.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sindel.
You bet.
Anyone else? Shanna or Shayna?
It's Shanna, yeah.
Shanna?
I've been actually really liking the journaling, and so some of my entries, well, a lot was to do with working on the hard drive, my hard drive. I was actually about a month into quitting smoking when I attended the business mastery. So when I came home, I actually took my patch off, and I've been putting that in each day because I thought that was pretty good that I was able to go without the patch and without the smoking, like very quickly.
Good job.
Yeah, it was kind of a mind over matter thing that it just, it was the intent that Colin had talked about and what we focused on. And that's kind of what I'm getting out of the journal is when I started writing it, I was, reminiscing about my gratitudes and my successes for the day. Now I'm starting to look for them and to make them.
Nice. Nice. And just think of all the money you save that you can invest in happiness or your business.
I know. Yes.
How awesome is that? Thanks so much, Shanna.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I've been able to, I've been looking at retail space, and I've actually found 2 spaces pop up in the last week that are the market value that the property owners are looking for at a highly discounted rate. So it's been very positive that way for members. I was working
Awesome.
with $1,000 a month down to as low as 900.
Way to go. Way to go, Blaine. Thanks so much. Shanna, if I can just get you to put yourself on mute. There we go. I don't know. I'm getting a little bit of static in the background. Thanks, Blaine.
No problem.
Anyone else who wants to share gratitude? Let me see. Check the chat here.
I will. I just had basically one thing with the journal.
Yeah.
Is that just pointing out your like positive things every day. It's so easy to focus on negative things in your life, but like when you start focusing on just all the positive things, it's really uplifting, especially in the morning and in the evening. It's really nice. And then reflecting. One of the challenges I have with the journal that I'm working on is sometimes I find that I get to what actions did I take, for my big dream, for example, or happiness. And I find that sometimes I'm like, what did I do for my big dream, or like my happiness? So these are questions that go through me, and I think that that definitely requires like planning, maybe in the morning or something, so that you can actually accomplish things throughout the day. So instead of coming at the end of the day and like, I didn't really do anything, so or didn't do anything, but like, maybe I could have done more towards that or something, right? Like instead of just working the daily grind, like, like or just, making your business run,
right.
Maybe make a phone call here or there, get another step going, in the right direction.
I'm glad you said that, Tyler, because, often people will say, I didn't take a step toward my big dream. And I'm like, well, did you email someone? Did you pick up the phone and make a phone call to someone that takes you toward what's in your dream booklet? Right? So any little thing, people think it's got to be such a big thing, and it really isn't. Even happiness is, having a hot shower or cold shower after the gym. That can be happiness, or getting that idea while you're running or jogging. That is a happiness moment. That you have that breakthrough, or you get that idea, or something just fell into place and you're like, wow, that makes me really happy. So often people are looking for this big monumental thing, and it's really hidden in all the little things that we need to just take some time to be mindful about.
And for me, like, I think that, like, for me personally, happiness and the grateful section are intertwined. Like, I find that I'm always really happy every time I start thinking about how grateful I am for all the things I have in my life. You know what I mean? So that's also for me personally.
Yeah. And they can be intertwined, but happiness is what did you do with intent to make your happiness? right? Did you go out of your way to, surprise someone with a note or a phone call? Or did you maybe do something you haven't done in a long time for yourself? Or even go sit on the deck with a coffee or a glass of wine and just be still,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of those things, it could be grateful for being able to do that, but also to be happy to get yourself to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's more about the action. That's right. About the
Yeah.
action towards your happiness instead of just like happiness. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because what you're going to learn is throughout the process, you're going to learn to be very intentional about your happiness. And I love how Shanna said, you're going to look for ways to make those things happen. And I think that's really exciting. So what we're going to do when you come into the Best Mindset group is that we break off into pairs and we share our journal, like highlights of the journal, and putting ourselves in that, energy level of where you were at that time when it happened. And sharing your, what you're grateful for and your successes and some of the steps you took toward your big dreams, and even the things that you're happy about, what's going really well for you. So we share that as a group, and then we share together. And so we keep that momentum for the next 2 weeks all the time. Any other shares before I move on to the next slide?
I just thought I could share with Tyler some of the things that I put in there.
Sure.
Like responded to emails, got my business partner on track, outlining boundaries of my expectations with my business partner, even things like securing childcare options, because I no longer have my husband around to watch my son for this call, so I had to look into other options and find somebody. My big dream is that I have a happy marriage, so we are trying to work that out. So simply put down the action towards my big dream was telling Cody I still love him.
There you go.
Just some ideas.
Awesome. Great steps. All right. So let's start working on your 90-day plan so you can keep your one-page plan in front of you. You're going to keep it on your desk or keep it in a place that you can focus so you ensure your goals that you're setting are in line with what you want to achieve in the next 12 months. Okay. So you'll see that there's a sheet in your binder. On the tables in the room, we also have these as additional sheets available. But you'll see that, so you have your commitment agreement, and the one side will say my best mindset plan. And then you have, I'm missing my second half, but it will have the results review on the other side. And then we also have a sheet that's called My Profit Success Goal, which will come up right away. On the back of that is the education sheet. So those two sheets open separately. They're two separate sheets, and that's what we're going to go through now. This is where you're going to need to take some notes down so that you understand where all these numbers come from, because this is the heart of the whole Best Mindset tracking system. Starts from your business plan. Okay, so today's date, the date that you'll come into the class will be May 29th, right? So that will be May 29th. And then, where did I put this? Then May 29th will be review period 4. So we're going to be going into period 4, and then it goes to June 26th will be period 6. So May 29th is when we'll meet. June 12th is when we're going to meet. June 26th, we will be meeting. And then there will be a 90-day reset, June 26th. Okay. So if you don't have the 90-day plan sheet, what I want you to do is just to take notes right now. What I'm going to do on May 29th If any of you want to come a few minutes earlier if you can, or during the break, I can review this with you. Just pop me an email so I have an idea if I need to make sure I'm watching for you if you come a little bit earlier before the session start, or during the break, or after. But I'd like to do it before we get to the second half after the break, so that you understand when we're going through the numbers. Okay, I don't have them electronically. They should be mailed to you. So again, if you don't have them, it's not a problem. Just follow along with me tonight, okay? It'll give you a better idea. That way you're not completely in the dark when you come in the room, okay? All right, so the end of the 90 days is going to be June 26th. And again, we have period 4 is May 29th. I don't know if you can see my cursor here. Then it will be June 12th, and then June 26th here, okay? That will be the end of the 90 days. So this section here at the top, it's gonna get big right away, but if you do have it, I want you to pay attention to this section. So this section is follow up past existing client prospects, leads, income generating meetings, sales won, and revenue profit, okay? So this box number 1, this is decide on the revenue profit you want at the end of the quarter. So what we're doing is you're taking the number from your business plan. Whatever you project for your revenue here on your business plan, you're going to divide that by 4, okay? So by dividing that by 4, that goes into number 1, because you're working per quarter. And right now you're coming in midway through a quarter. But that's what I want you to do. You take the revenue number divided by 4, and that goes in box number 1. Box number 2 is the sales won. How many sales won does it take to generate revenue profit that you want? So to help you understand this is, think of your product or service. How many of those do you have to sell or provide to get the revenue you want in box 1? And don't worry, I have an example to break this all down. But that's what we're using as a basis. How many sales do you need to have to get the number that you want in that quarter? Box 3 is income generating meetings. That means how many people face-to-face or conversations do you need to have in order to get the sales won to generate the revenue profit in number 1. See, they all go across together. Leads is how many leads do you need to generate to get income generating meetings. So that's how many new people do you need to expose yourself to in order to get a one-to-one or face-to-face contact or a phone call that gives you a sales won to give you the revenue profit that you projected. Then number 5 is the follow-up. That's the follow-up with past and existing clients and prospects, people who already know about you, who you might be reconnecting with or letting them know what you're up to. So that's in number 5. How many do you commit to connecting with in that quarter? So how many follow-ups will you do with past and existing clients and prospects? Okay. Just make sure you're all on board. Do I have everybody with me? Anybody with any questions before we move on to the next slide? Zindo.
Just wait so I can write it down.
Sure.
Because I didn't have time to do it all while you.
No problem.
Okay.
Just let me know when you guys are ready, and then I'll move ahead.
And you said that was done per quarter, right?
Per quarter.
Total amount divided by 4.
Yeah. Your revenue number on your business plan divided by 4, and the quarter goes in number 1.
Okay. 2 is.
So this row number 6, I'm just going to click forward if that's okay. Sindel, are you all right? Tyler, are you okay? Okay.
Yeah, 5. How many?
Don't worry, I'm going to have an example here for you right away. So these
Okay.
types of businesses might have to customize this a little bit. So, but for 80% of businesses, this table works exactly as is. So the direct sales, multi-marketing, party plans. Some of the columns people change to distributors, orders, products. So whatever they're tracking to really discover what they're tracking. Inconsistent income, that's the realtors, the mortgage brokers, etc. So they might be tracking different things. Referral-based businesses, they're going to track referrals versus leads potentially, or income generating meetings. So it's depending on what you're tracking, and service-based businesses as well. In the class, there is an example in our results binder where people use different terminology, and you'll be able to see that in the class. And product-based business. So number 6 is, just so that you see here, we're going to go through an example. So this person wants to make $12,000 in 1 quarter, 90 days, okay? So they know it takes 24 sales in order for them to make $12,000. They need to have 48 people that they need to meet with to know that they are going to generate 24 sales to make $12,000. So this is a 50% conversion rate. You might not know your numbers yet for how many sales you need or how many income generating meetings. We just say double your sales 1 just to start out. And as you get to know what your conversion rate, you will be able to adjust the numbers for your targets. Okay? So leads is 240. So this is a little bit more extrapolated. They know that they need to get in front of 240 new people. So it could be that you're a one-to-many in a presentation that they get exposed to you as new leads. And then out of those 240 leads, that you're going to get 48 meetings, 24 sales to get that $12,000. Then they committed to that in the quarter, they were going to reach out to 120 people in their database of past existing clients and prospects. Okay, completing block number 6 is what happens is, first of all, you're deciding on your revenue profit that you want to achieve at the end of the 90 days. So that's the 12,000. So I will let you know how many periods are left, in which I said start coming into May 29th, that will be going into our 4th period. So there'll be 4, 5, and 6. So generally what we do is we write that number in box 7. So if you're just starting into that, because usually what people do is this little box 7, our plan is divided into 2-week segments, right? So there's 6 2-week periods in 90 days or the 12 weeks. So we divide that top row by 6 to tell us what we should be making every 2 weeks. Divide all the numbers in the row by that number, so that you're dividing it by 6 to know how much you want to use as your target for a 2-week period. Now you have goals to set toward the goals for each period. So you see how we're breaking it down? We're really chunking it down, and then we even get to a daily level so that you're really focused on what you need to do and follow up and get things done. So this is what you're going to review every 2 weeks when you come to the session. We're going to ask you, did you hit or miss your goals? And what was the reason for it? Because again, with self-reflection, you're going to learn what's going to help you get on track and making sure. So you confused all the numbers 1 to 5 together. Okay. Sindel, you want to come off and just explain to me where you're confused?
Yeah, I lost you on that last part. So trying to calculate the box number 7.
Okay, so that box number 7, there's
Yeah.
there's 6 2-week periods in 12 weeks.
Okay.
You got that?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you see up here, this first line across the top, This is 1 quarter. In this example, this is 1 quarter, right? So they divided this by 6.
Okay.
So that's their target for every 2 weeks. Do I have everybody with me? Zindel, are you back with me?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
So then the box number 7
is the number of periods that we have. So you guys are going to have 3, but if you divide that number by 3, your target's really high. So what I want you to do is divide it by 6, because that's how much you would have for each 2-week period.
Okay.
12 weeks, right? You're coming in and there's 3 weeks left in our period. So it'd be hard for me to say, hey, you need to make that number divided by 3, right? Because it makes the number really high. And I want to make sure that we're setting you up for success so you're celebrating early.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay?
And we're going to do this on May 29th with everybody, so we'll have
Yes, we review this every 2 weeks, this sheet. Every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay. So you're going to blank this part out across the top there. And this is what we do. So how are your results in the past 2 weeks? So when you come in, so you're going to be here, we're going to start this on the 29th, right? And for those 2 weeks, you're going to look at your numbers and people are going to look at this column and they're going to say, did I hit my revenue profit goal? So for example, if we were this person, did I reach $2,000 in 2 weeks or better? If I did, I'm going to put a gold star. And there's gold sticky stars in the classroom where we have supplied for you to stick on your paper. Then we have something called exposure activities. These are SMART goals that you wrote about how you're going to expose yourself to the marketplace. So if you reach your exposure activities and you meet all the goals you set, you're going to give yourself 1 dot, a green dot or a yellow dot or a red dot based on how much you accomplished. Most important part of this paper is why did you hit or miss and the things that you're going to continue and the things that you're going to change. These are so, so important in becoming self-aware and self-observant of the behaviors that are either getting you to hit your goals or holding you back. Okay? So for this session only, what I want you to think about is your business mastery commitments. Have you all followed through on those? Have you phoned your partners? What's that?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. And what did you learn about yourself? Great stuff. Thanks, Daryl. Thanks, Kim.
It's more. Oh, sorry.
Marjorie.
Yeah, it's just reapplying the things that we have learned before and being more consistent in what we're doing. It's just like self-observation, self-awareness, and And journaling is really important, and it's really helpful in realizing that, just like we have spoken before, we haven't really done so much things to be able to achieve, to get closer to our goals. So it makes us more aware of planning and doing those things, putting into action and sticking to it. And learning about the business as well. It's just, learning how to stick onto your, commit to your commitments. Just like my working hours is from 9 to 9. I don't do it prior to that because I am, just wanting to have clients. No, I have to do it as per, so that I gain the respect for myself and from other people. So it's just a lot of things to work on me, but I am really enjoying it, and I'm so grateful and happy to have this program.
Awesome, Marjorie, and we're happy to have you. That's awesome. One of the things that I came across the other day was a post on, I think it was Instagram, and it said if it was easy, it would not make you proud. right? And as you know, as an entrepreneur, it's not the easy way to do things necessarily, right? So, but you sure will be proud of all the hard work that you put in to make things happen.
That's so true. And even the fear of, we've talked about last time, and you just go beyond that, and my fear of not having, time for my child, and your suggestion, just putting your child in your calendar. We've started doing that. We're enjoying it, and it's just giving us so much, positive connections with myself, with my family, and my husband. Yeah, it's just great.
It's awesome. And you're doing it with intent, and you also get to anticipate all those great things that you get to do.
That's so true.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So, results or excuses? So self-reflection since business mastery. So I want you to think about, why did you hit or not hit all your commitments? What are your excuses or reasons that have been coming up for you? Did you blame others, and why? And what are you going to do differently? And what are you going to commit to moving forward? Who wants to come off and share? Sindel.
Yeah, I have done some of my commitments, not all of them. I did phone my accountability partner anyways, though, because I knew that would help hold me accountable. And of course, my reason is that my world kind of turned upside down. So I've been spending a lot of time actually feeling my feelings and looking for the support that I need to move forward and make sure that I'm looked after and healthy. So.
Awesome. And it sounds like you've started to tap into a lot of resources.
Pardon?
It sounds like you've been tapping into resources.
Yes. So I'm proud of myself for doing that and for actually feeling my feelings, because I am usually one that will just look at my to-do list and try not to let myself feel anything. So yeah.
It's really important to be able to emotionally express yourself. Because you're going to find it, if we put down our feelings and we talk about influences, thoughts, feelings, and actions, getting our results. So those feelings, if we push them down and we think that we can just focus on the action, subconsciously, it's still impacting the results that we're getting. So good for you. That's a great, great shift. Thanks, Sindel. Anyone else? Did you catch yourself blaming anyone, coming up with excuses? Or what are you going to commit to moving forward? Blaine.
I know I've been challenged with the excuse thing, and just trying not to make excuses and just going, you know what, you screwed up, move on. Make mistakes. It's part of the learning process, but you got to go forward and keep going forward. And it's a lot easier said than done. You have your good days and you have your bad days, but you got to keep that momentum forward.
Absolutely. And what do you have a visual reminder in your office or anything to keep you moving forward?
Yeah, I've got a couple visual reminders that I keep looking at every day. I'll show you guys. It's kind of goofy, but it is what it is. And as you can see, I dressed up for the occasion today.
But it worked for you.
Yeah. This is my visual reminder every day of where I want to be back again. So that's a picture of looking down the side of Petro Canada Tower, looking at the bowl direct on.
Oh, cool.
So that was taken on about the 30th floor. And then this is the other one I use as my motivation. Strange as it may sound, this is looking from Bankers Hall west at, that is looking at Petro Canada Tower, I believe. But that's another shot from the places where I do work.
Cool.
Looking out the window. So that's my motivation, is to get back into those spaces and be working in those office spaces again.
Awesome. Way to go. Because when we have those visual reminders, it really takes us, and we can have that connection, right? That emotional connection to something that keeps us motivated, keeps us focused on a track. Go reviewing your dream booklet, or if you develop vision boards, it's really important to be able to connect emotionally to your dreams and your visions. Thanks, Blaine. Anyone else?
For like vision board would be more suited for me, you know, like just something that you can look at every day, a little bit more in your face, whereas opposed to like taking time away and finding your dream booklet and then taking a look at it and you know.
You gotta build it into the morning habits, right?
Right.
Looking at giving yourself some time to prime your day, to review your dreams, keep yourself focused and say, you know what? I'm on track. I know exactly what I want. And when you can see it and start targeting toward it, it's going to become more and more vivid.
Yeah, and doing the business plan with your vision and mission and your core values, I found that I've always been like thinking of what I want to be doing with my business, because like I'm in flooring. I need to be able to I need to be able to grow my business right now, because I'm at a certain point where I know I can do that. I have the potential. So basically figuring out like how is it that I'm going to do it and where do I actually want to be. Right. The vision part was really good for me to actually try and get all those thoughts that I've had over the years and just kind of put it all together. And yeah, it was really good. I actually developed a little bit more of a soul for the business. Awesome.
I can't wait to see it, watch it grow as you brainstorm and you come up with ideas in the Best Mindset group. So one thing I want to impress upon you all is that you never downgrade your goals. You're going to increase your actions, right? So we don't downgrade the goal and make it less than. You increase the actions that you need to take. So we've been doing a little bit of self-reflection. Is there anyone else who wants to come on and share their self-reflection?
Yeah, this is Wanda. I learned that I want to learn how to dream again.
Beautiful.
And so I'm looking for some guidance and help there.
Awesome. I find that people sometimes have needed permission to dream again. They got so caught up in just the minutia of everything that they lost sight of the dream, and this pulls them right back into, wow, what it feels like to dream. Thanks, Wanda.
Yeah.
All right. So we can't do this because usually this is generally in person. So I want to hear from everyone at least once. What are you going to do differently in the next 90 days moving forward? Let me see. Can we start with Sindel? I got the list here of who's on, and maybe I can get everybody to share. What do you want to do differently in the next 90 days?
Laser focus and stop being distracted by my phone and having my email open all day and checking it continuously and feeling like I have to respond to everybody instantaneously.
Yeah.
It's probably the biggest thing I'm going to change, and actually changed as of today when I did the Business Plan 101. I thought, okay,
awesome.
Phone's not beside me, nothing else is open except this, and it worked really well, and I'm gonna write that in my successes tonight when I do my journal.
Awesome. Well done. Time blocking is crucial, right? And then when you shut off the social media, shut off the email while you're working on your projects for, increments of time, you can get so much done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Great self-awareness. Thanks, Sindel. Marjorie.
For me, it's more openness to learn about numbers. To be honest, I went into nursing because numbers is not in it's my Waterloo. And I, just like the other 2 days ago, I told my husband, I requested him, could you please help me do the cash flow predictor? Because just seeing the boxes, I felt dizzy.
Oh, we'll get you to love numbers, Marjorie. Don't you worry. Everybody starts to love them, especially when they start growing.
So I think I'm gonna embrace numbers and just because I've been always putting that aside because Yeah, because it's never been because I know I am good in other things and I'm focusing on that. And now it's time to learn the things that I am not good at. And that I'm going to do it differently.
Awesome. Way to go, Marjorie. Manjinder. Are you able to pop on for us? Take yourself off mute.
Yes. Yes. Hello, everyone. What I thought I need is building self-confidence in myself that yes, I can do it, believing myself that it is possible, and making my dreams come true. I have to work on it, and I have to get uncomfortable and go through the challenges and get it done.
Well, get ready to get uncomfortable, Manjinder.
Yes.
You're going to do it. Awesome. Thank you so much. Diana. What are you going to do differently in the next 90 days?
We'll write on a schedule with each of my commitments to make sure I commit to my commitments, that I actually do them. Yeah.
Awesome. Way to go. Thank you. Tyler.
I'm going to focus on my finances. I'm in the process right now of developing a better process for my finances. Right now, things have been just anything goes with the flow. Money comes in, money goes out.
You'll like the cash flow predictor. You'll like the cash flow predictor. You're going to want to do Profit Warrior as well as soon as you can.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, I think that's one of the things that I need to focus on primarily. I'm working more closely with my accountant as of last week.
Good.
To kind of get myself on track with that, because I feel like once I do that, I'll just increase my profit by God knows how much. So
awesome. It's pretty exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. Yeah, it's just, one of those things you put on hold for so long, and then now it's like I got a little bit of a push.
Yeah, it's real, and we're going to hold your feet to the fire. Blaine. Blaine, are you able to pop off and let us know what you're going to do differently?
Yeah, it's mine's going to be stop procrastinating on stuff and leaving everything till the 11th hour to get it done. Try to get stuff done well ahead of time, and that way it's not a
So Blaine, I'm going to interrupt you just for a second, because you're not the only one I heard tonight, but this is what happens in Best Mindset. You're not going to try to do it. You are going
to. Yes, you're right. There's no try, there's do.
Excellent.
But that is the plan, is to go forward and stop procrastinating and doing stuff at the 11th hour. And
excellent.
Get it done well ahead of time, so it's not a panic like I am doing this quote right now for more than I'll land on my plate at 5 o'clock this evening.
Yeah. Well, we're almost done. So I want to make sure that I get through everybody. Thanks so much, Blaine. Shanna.
Hi. I'm going to really focus on getting more involved in my community and a lot of relationship building. I think that, I'm really trusting Make Your Mark to show me the technical side of getting this business going. So I really want to focus on my personal. With that, I really need to get my visuals up of my dreams and my happiness stuff. When I came home, I kind of lost a little bit of that, and I realized that I just didn't get it out enough, that I'm looking at it and seeing it and hitting myself with it every day. So that's what I'm going to do, is focus on my personal and my relationship building by getting out in my community and getting involved.
Awesome. Way to go, Shanna.
Thanks.
Kim.
Hi. Some of the things I definitely resonate with relationship building. That's a huge one for me. So I'm in the indirect marketing. So I have secretly committed to the business mastery group, but I have not committed to my team. So I think I should probably let them know.
Oh, there you go.
Let them push me a little bit. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Way to go, Kim. Wanda.
Thanks.
I'm going to focus on raising my financial set point. Colin talked about that. And that goes hand in hand with being open to talking about finances, as well as being open to suggestions around dreaming. So both those things are really important to set the stage for this next part of my career, I think.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Wanda. And Daryl. Let me see here. All right, Daryl, in the next 90 days, instead of telling yourself you need to refocus or delaying an excuse, you're going to commit to focusing on your areas where you really need to focus. So many areas where you can put your energy, so you're focusing on the specifics. Well done. And Cindo, you also said get back to your story and complete your why and progressive statements. So important, you guys. Get back, connect to your why, and look at your progressive statements, focus on the journaling, and you will watch how you are going to grow. Very much so. Thank you so much all for sharing. So my profit success goal sheet, well, this is what we do. And just so that you know, you might not fill it all. You can fill it out for the next week if you want, but even you might not have the sheets, not to worry about it. But this is what we're going to do. So you don't need to complete it today. Don't complete it right now, but I want you to understand it. Okay? So what we do is we put in the date that we're there. So it'll be May 29th. Then 2 weeks from that date will be June 12th. And then we take that 2-week plan from the 90-day plan, those 2 sheets, we put it in that box. That's your achievable goal. So in that example, it was 2,000. You put in whatever the number is for you. It could be 500, it could be 200, could be 3,000. Your inspirational goal is 10 to 20% greater than that. And then your outrageous goal is another 10 to 20% greater than that. But the most important thing on this paper is, why is this achievable goal so important to you? Thinking about your why. Why do you want to make that money? What does it do for you? Okay. Exposure activities. This is really important. Exposure activities, and this is, if you want to, you can go ahead to Exposure Warrior. If you're in the elite program, you can go and watch that series of videos anytime. But exposure activities are the way you're going to expose yourself to the marketplace. So it could be through boards of trades, it could be through chambers of commerce, associations, networking groups, speaking engagements. These are all ways that people get to know about your business. They're not a task. Let me make sure that you know about that. It's not a task. It's not that I'm going to design a brochure. That's not an exposure activity. Handing out 10 brochures to key individuals and who those individuals are, that is an exposure activity. You're putting your information in the hands of other people. And your goals need to be specific, they need to be measurable, they need to be achievable and realistic and timely. So if you can only do, like in our 2 weeks, if you can only do 10 in 2 weeks, then you do 10. But if you put, I'm going to hand out 250 brochures in 2 weeks and I'm going to hand deliver each one, and you know you are not able to do that, you just set yourself up for a learning experience, right? So I want you to be successful. Make sure it's something that you can measure. So if you're going to 3 networking groups, what exactly are those 3 networking groups? And if it's 2 weeks you're going to do this by, so that you give yourself the time to ensure that you can attend all 3. Let's say you can't set 3 goals, set 2, but it needs to be realistic in the time frame you give yourself. Please set yourself up for success. Otherwise, people make too many goals, they get overwhelmed, and they quit. Or they don't show up to Best Mindset and they get a phone call from me. So if you don't want to receive a phone call from me wondering why you're not there, you need to show up and be accountable. Okay. There are times I know that you won't, you might be ill and we don't want you to share it with us. Of course, you can email me, you can text me, you can let me know that you won't be there so that I'm not wondering where you are. And I need to know that you're safe. All right. So the other thing is you're going to take that 2-week numbers, that 2-week measuring stick, I like to call it, and you put it across the top. That's the 2 weeks that you divided that other number by 6 by. This is the number that goes across the top. That's the goals from the 90-day plan. These are your follow-up activities. Okay, so this is, you monitor this every 2 weeks. So day 1, how many people did you follow up with? How many leads did you get in front of? Did you have any income generating meetings? Did you have any sales? And what is your greatest learning for that day? So now you see how we went from a 12-month plan into a quarter, into every 2 weeks, to daily monitoring. Because when you focus on the numbers will look back and focus on you, right? You're going to see those numbers. Accountability time to ensure that that 90-day plan is completely filled out. No leaving till it's done. And that's usually what we say when we're in person. But I'm not going to hold you here tonight. But I do want you to, when you get off today, to make sure you're putting in the work to get it done. So when you come on the 29th, you're raring to go and up to speed with everybody in the room. And I'm happy, and we're happy to support you along the way. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me or just bring them with you, and we will get you on track. So awards and graduations, as I said, we take the average of 3 months and 2-week increments to see what K Club you'll fit into, but we celebrate whenever we get a chance to celebrate people in hitting their new milestones. And what they do is they share. I get to introduce them with their bio, so we get to learn a little bit more about them, and then they share a little bit about their journey and their story. And that's when you understand people's whys. And it's so, so incredible to learn about other people in the room and let people learn about you. So we always like to have some celebrating going on, and also to head toward Capit. But remember, we want to work toward those upgrades of 2, 5, 10, 15, 20, get you up to Capit. And also there's opportunities for you to volunteer at Business Mastery, join our gratitude group. If you're an ambassador, that's with the red tickets, to hand out to family, friends who you believe would love to be a part of our Business Mastery and go through the same experience that you have. You can also email Walter Wirsch, is our city ambassador, our Alberta ambassador. So you can go to amb@mymsuccess.com. They have phenomenal trainings as well. So please connect. Go on to the Best Mindset group on Facebook. There's also a private group for ambassadors if you're an ambassador, and the gratitude group also. They all have private Facebook groups. Come on and introduce yourself. Let us get to know you. If you're facing a challenge, let us know about it. Let us help support you along the way. So you can join us in the private Facebook group as well. Every meeting is critical. Every 2 weeks, plan your business around it, even if you haven't done the work. Commitment is that turning point in your life when you seize the moment, you convert it into an opportunity that ultimately alters your destiny. So that, in a nutshell, is our best mindset. So I'm going to make this big again. Whoops. Just 1 second. You're still there? Can't see anything. Okay. I'm needing to get back into the big screen. There, I gotta just stop the share so I can see you all beautiful people again. So that is the end of the presentation. I hope you had an amazing time with me this evening to understand where you're gonna grow to. And you're so welcome, everyone. And thank you for bearing along with me. I can't wait to see you on the 29th. Again, don't hesitate to email me if you have any questions. And I look forward to seeing you all in person on the 29th. Any questions before we go?
I just little like with the 90-day plan in the service industry, right? Yeah. Maybe I'll just do an email later or something, but sure. Like I find that that's a little bit.
And I can show you in our results binder, Tyler, in our results binder on the tables in the room, there is examples that you can take pictures of or photocopy, or not photocopy, but you can take a picture of it so you can see how it applies to your business as well.
On the 29th then?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
okay.
I can show that to
see
you.
If I can figure out a way, but if not, then at least we'll have the example.
We'll talk.
Thank you.
We're going to get you guys right on track as soon as possible and really get you engaged and really invested in your business like no commitment you've ever known.
I was wondering about the daily plan. I noticed that there's 14 days.
Yep.
Normally I work Monday to Friday. Some weekends I do work. It just depends.
Yeah.
So you would just adjust.
Here's an
that
example,
accordingly?
Cindy. If you run into somebody at the grocery store on a Saturday, it's a bonus one for you, right? If you do a majority of those tasks during the Monday to Friday, then they're done during that time. But there might be times you run into somebody at the grocery store or at a play group or something, or wherever you might be, you might have a lead that you connect with, or you follow up with a past client. And it's just because you're at the same place at the same time, you might even, have a sales one at that same time. Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we work in the best mindset to develop our elevator pitch?
Oh, yes. We're going to work on a lot of things. We don't call them elevator pitches, just so that you know. We call them intrigue statements.
Cool.
We create intrigue. We don't come from a place of pitching, but we'll work on that with you.
That's good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, if no one has any more questions, I wish you a great week, and I will see you very soon. Okay?
Thank you.
Take care. Have a great
you.
evening, everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.